Hello future video class, my name is Ken Bradkey and this is my video presentation. I decided to write my paper on Barry Diller's new startup company, Aereo. If you're not familiar with Aereo, it's actually got a very interesting business model. What they do is, for a small monthly fee, about $12 a month, they rent out to customers a dime-sized antenna that can pick up local broadcast channels and a remote storage DVR that's kept on Aereo's premises. It's the consumer, when they want to watch a certain program, goes onto their computer or mobile device, selects record, the antenna will pick up the signal, send it to their RS DVR, and then from there they can stream the content from their own RS DVR back to their computer or mobile device. While this sounds like a great business model, Aereo is currently facing some legal troubles. In March, about 2 weeks before they launched, all the major network affiliates in New York, the company's service is currently only available in New York, filed an injunction to get Aereo to stop its service for violating Copyright Act laws and retransmission consent laws. However, the district court judge found in favor of Aereo and refused to issue the injunction, saying that Aereo was not violating any copyright or retransmission consent laws. The broadcasters appealed, and the Second Circuit heard oral arguments on November 30th. In my paper, I argue that Aereo is in complete compliance with the law and should win the Second Circuit court case. There are several reasons. First, in the Sony case, the Supreme Court said that the Betamax recorder was not a violation of the Copyright Act. This is because consumers have the right to time shift, basically. So, what the Betamax recorder did is essentially what Aereo is doing. They're taking content that they legally have access to, recording it, and watching it later for private use. The second case, the Cablevision case, said that Cablevision, a cable company in New York, was allowed to have a remote storage DVR service for their customers. Again, Aereo is doing the same thing. They have a remote storage DVR, they're streaming the content to one customer, it's one copy, and it's one feed. The Second Circuit seems to be a little skeptical of Aereo's service though nonetheless. One of the judges said that they thought that Aereo's business model was designed purely to just skirt around the Copyright Act. And in fact, the lawyers for Aereo said they designed their dime-sized antennas for the very purpose of not violating the Copyright Act. This is because if Aereo were to have one giant antenna distributing the signal to multiple users, they would be taking the local broadcast and making it a public performance. Under the Copyright Act, you cannot content owners have the rights to public performance. So that is the main issue of the case. However, again, Aereo only makes one copy, one stream to one customer. And unlike tax law, Copyright Act laws have no provision saying you can't take advantage of loopholes. Additionally, the Supreme Court has stated that they want to have deference to Congress when there's a new technology that's taking advantage of a certain provision in, for instance, the Copyright Act law. The second reason the Second Circuit Court judges were skeptical is because they were trying to distinguish Cablevision from Aereo in that when Cablevision offered its remote service DVR, it already had a licensing agreement with the broadcast stations to redistribute their signals. Here, Aereo doesn't have any sort of licensing agreement with the broadcast companies and instead is saying that it's simply taking free over-the-air broadcasts, redistribute them to private users using a DVR service which has already been found to be perfectly legal. In my paper, I argue that there is one way that the Second Circuit could find against Aereo, and that is they could limit the scope of the Cablevision case just to say that RS DVR services are okay if you already have a licensing agreement with a broadcast company. This could have a severe impact on the video programming industry and I'm very interested to see how the Second Circuit rules in this case. Thank you.